Hey everyone. A while ago, Marvel Legends put out one of my favorite Marvel characters ever, Sleepwalker. Now, this is a really cool figure. Oops. Let's see. He has two alternate hands. I put in his open hands. He also has two fists. Articulation is pretty good. Elbows are kind of loose and wiggly. Cape's all ripped up there. It's kind of weird. Anyway, the hood is kind of weird. It's like like it's squashed on one side. I feel like it could have looked a little better if it was evened out a bit, but whatever. Also, like an alternate head of him with the hood off would have been nice, but anyway, yeah. It's still a really cool figure. It's all I could have asked for, basically. Because he's one of my favorite Marvel characters ever. A lot of people don't seem to know Sleepwalker. Sleepwalker hasn't really... Yeah, he never really took off for whatever reason. I don't know why. He had a really good comic back in the 90s. It kind of sputtered to an end. The ending wasn't like I don't know, as the comic went on, it wasn't quite as good as it was when it started. But yeah, he's made a few appearances here and there throughout the years in Marvel Universe. So let's talk about the original comic. I love this cover. The cover is so iconic, and you know how Marvel likes to do like homage covers? Like this would like make a really good homage cover, definitely. Now, the really interesting thing with Sleepwalker is he's not like a typical superhero. He doesn't have like a secret identity or anything. Instead, one of the focal characters is this normal guy, Rick Sheridan. Just a typical guy. Sleepwalker in this first comic isn't even really the hero. He's this just creepy specter who shows up in Rick's dreams. Oh, and Rick has a dog, Rambo, who's a really cool character in his own right. Oh, and here's a nice thing. We get little references to the Marvel Universe throughout the Sleepwalker comics, like there's Spider-Man on TV, and we even get some foreshadowing, like there's 8-Ball on the TV, who will make an appearance in the next issue. Rick Sheridan has a girlfriend, Alyssa. Cool character. Not a whole lot to say about her, but she's cool. And then there's this old couple that Rick rents a room with. These couple of criminals. Rambo there. Anyway, Rick goes to sleep, dreams about seeing Alyssa on the beach, and then suddenly Sleepwalker shows up. And there's an interesting running thing in this first issue with this like medallion that Sleepwalker has. Rick thinks that if he can get the medallion away from Sleepwalker, then he'll go away. Which is another thing that would have been kind of nice for the toy if they had like the medallion on him, if it was removable, but you know, I don't really know how they would do a removable medallion on his chest for a toy. So anyway, he wakes up, thinks Sleepwalker's gone, but then he sees on the TV there's a news report, and we see Sleepwalker is in the real world. And then he's on a date with his girlfriend Alyssa. Baseball card commercial. Anyway, they go through a spook house, he falls asleep, and Sleepwalker appears. Alyssa tries to wake him up. He wakes up, and he's like, whoa, what? And she's like, there was this monster, it was like the one you described from the news. It appeared while you were asleep. And so then he figures, oh, crap, he only shows up when I'm asleep, so I've got to stay awake. So then he kills himself to stay awake, and yeah, he's not in good shape anymore. So then him and Alyssa are going to the convenience store, and he doesn't want to tell her about the crazy monster that escapes his dreams. So he's like, oh, it's these tests for college. I need to study. I need to stay up and study. And then the criminals from earlier show up. They knock him out. And then Sleepwalker escapes his mind. Turn the page. And there he is. No longer has the medallion. He approaches the criminals. They shoot at him. The hood falls off, and you can see what he looks like without the hood. Pretty cool. Got the kind of egg head. Anyway, we see one of his weird abilities. He can warp reality, cause things to bend and warp around. He makes a mailbox eat the one guy. The one guy starts beating him up. Then, let's see, yeah. Other people are chucking stuff at him just because he looks weird. He wraps the concrete around the one bad guy. Oh yeah. Hangs the one guy from this lamp thing. Alyssa runs up. I am Sleepwalker. Then Rick wakes up. Alyssa goes over, tells him, it's that monster again. And he's like, oh no, because I fell asleep. I don't know what's going on. Then, yeah. There's the end of the first issue. This was a really, really cool issue. I love Sleepwalker's look. One of the things that first attracted me to Sleepwalker was the colors, the blue and purple. When I was a little kid, it reminded me of Skeletor. Also, the green face kind of made me think, I don't know, for some reason that made me think of Skeletor also. Like maybe he had green skin before he turned into Skeletor. This is before the 2002 show started. So yeah, I hadn't seen Keldor yet. Anyway, back to this thing. Sleepwalker is such a cool, otherworldly looking creature. He's got these like he's really long and skinny, and he's got this weird face. He's got the weird eye beams that can warp matter. He comes out of dreams. In this first issue, it's not clear exactly who he is. Is he a villain? Is he a hero? What's he doing? Was he fighting the criminals for the good of the people around him, or was he doing it just out of self-defense because they attacked him first? It sets up such cool mysteries that are paid off throughout the series, and also we have that little foreshadowing of 8 Ball in the next issue, and that's really cool. I really love Sleepwalker. It's too bad it doesn't get a whole lot of love. For years, Sleepwalker was kind of like a joke with Marvel fans. Like I don't really get what the joke was, just that like he was a silly character. Like I don't know, reading this, it didn't come across as a that silly of a character. Like the story itself. The artwork's nice, the story's like solid. Sleepwalker's a cool character that I don't know, I found him intriguing. So yeah, I don't know what exactly Sleepwalker's problem was, like breaking into the mainstream. He just didn't appeal to people. Maybe he was too unique or like a little too out there. It was too much for people to grasp or something. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, he has a toy now, and that is freaking awesome. Um, oh, and actually, I have the box here. He comes with a leg of Rintrah from the new Doctor Strange movie that's coming out. Or maybe he was in the old one, I don't know, I didn't watch it. Sleepwalker is the guardian of the mindscape, apprehending beings that invade the sleeping minds of human. Yep, that's Sleepwalker from later in the comic. For now, though, in this issue, he's just this weird guy. We don't really know too much about him, and I like that. That's a cool setup for an ongoing character who, unfortunately, didn't really seem to go anywhere. But yeah, Sleepwalker was one of my favorite comics when I was younger. I'm still looking for like the last couple issues. Like I know I've read synopsises of like what happens in those last few issues, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I don't know for sure what exactly was going on and what happened. He's also had a few appearances in other comics, like he showed up in a Fantastic Four and a Spider-Man issue, neither of which were really that good. Oh, and there was also a Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur comic that he showed up in out of nowhere. And I think I remember reading that, and he barely plays a part, and for such an obscure character, I'm wondering why they bothered bringing him in at all. Whatever. Uh, I'll get to those when I get to those, but yeah, I'm thinking of going over all the Sleepwalker comics, all the spin-off, or, well, like, guest appearances he had and everything. So yeah, Sleepwalker, freaking awesome, love it. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see ya.